Holla at your boy in the live chat. In today's show, breaking news, Bitcoin exchanges now own 16% less Bitcoin than the oldest hodlers, as well as the Bitcoin hash rate hits yet another all-time high. And as they say, the Bitcoin price follows the hash rate. And quoting Nayib Bukele, I can outsource my monetary policy to an immutable, indestructible, unimpeachable, absolutely scarce, perfect money, build an entire new capital market on it, boost my country's GDP 10x, and this will be accretive over time and make 7 million Salvadorans individually sovereign. Also in today's show, Coinbase announces the suspension of BUSD trading beginning on March 13th, as well as Ethereum testnet successfully forks and Shanghai upgrade rehearsal. Also more breaking news, Visa and Mastercard halt their new crypto partnerships. I'll be breaking down this latest report, as well as after accurately predicting a global market meltdown, billionaire Chamath issues yet another major alert to investors. Also in today's show, billionaire venture capitalist Tim Draper stands by his $250,000 Bitcoin price prediction, only he moves it to the end of the year. In this new exclusive interview, quoting him here, I don't know why anyone would still hold centralized tokens today. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market, all this, plus so much more in today's show. And today's episode is brought to you by the #1 crypto exchange in the world, which is Binance. I recommend it personally because they offer 0 trading fees on the top Bitcoin related pairs, truly making it a no-brainer. Outside of that, they also offer the lowest fees available in the industry. And if you're a user outside the US, use my Binance Global link in the description right down below, and you can claim up to a $600 bonus. If you're in the United States, such as I am, you must use my Binance affiliate link, which is below the regular Binance link in the description below. And you can still take advantage of some awesome incentives and bonuses as well. Let's do that right now, and let's get this crypto, shall we? And welcome everyone just tuning in. This is podcast episode number 1206. I'm your host, JV, and today is the final day of February 28th. Let's start by taking a look at the market. As you can see here on your screen via Coin360, we got Bitcoin currently correcting along with most of the alts in the red, with Bitcoin down 1.3%, trading just under 23,500, Ether down 1%, trading just above $1,600. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, let's check out the latest data regarding the market cap. As you can see, we're getting closer to 1.1 trillion as far as market cap is concerned, with about 44 billion in volume in the past 24 hours, with 42.3% Bitcoin dominance and Ether dominance at 18.7%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, AGIX up 8%, trading at 47 cents, followed by Casper up 5%, trading at 4 cents, followed by Immutable up 7.5%, trading at $1.05. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, there's a mixed bag with most returning to the red. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, as you can see here, we're a neutral today, 53. Yesterday was a 50, dead in the middle. Last week, 60 in greed. And last month, a 55 in greed. So there you have it. How many of you are currently bullish on the King Crypto? Holla at your boy in the live chat. With that being shared, now let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis and check out some of the charts and what is currently happening. The latest data shows Bitcoin exchanges have less Bitcoin to buy than at any time since early 2018. On-chain analytics firm Glassnode confirms that as of February 2023, exchange reserves are at 5-year lows. That's what's up. The latest statistics reflect the determination of Bitcoin hodlers, as major exchange Bitcoin balances are in down-only mode. As of February 27th, the latest data, according to Glassnode, shows that the platform held a combined 2,272,000 Bitcoin, and it was in March of 2018 that the number was previously so low, with March 2020 representing the current all-time high of 3.2 million BTC. After the COVID cross-market crash, exchange reserves began to fall, accelerating through the 2022 bear market to stand 29% lower than today. The impressive numbers, meanwhile, do not end there, as noted by on-chain analyst William Clemente, co-founder of Bitcoin-focused research firm Reflexivity. The exchange balance lows means they now hold less Bitcoin than the oldest hodler addresses. Quoting him here, there is now more Bitcoin that hasn't moved in the least 10 years than there is on the exchanges. That's a wild stat. Now, Glassnode data also put the total Bitcoin dormant for 10 years at more than 2.6 million BTC, 16% more than the total exchange balance. Now, as previously reported, hodlers have stepped up their resilience this year after weathering a pretty brutal bear market in the past year, to say the least. Even as the Bitcoin price action headed higher, holding continued with limited sales combined with increase in exposure. That trend shows little sign of reversing at the current levels, with hodlers' combined net position change reaching 4-month highs this weekend. And I also like to point out new record hash rate, and the number is so big I wouldn't even know where to begin to pronounce it, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 commas in the number. But what I do know is the Bitcoin price tends to follow the hash rate, as the price is a lagging indicator to the hash rate. So definitely a bullish sign. And as I shared with you in the intro, quoting Bukele, I can outsource my monetary policy to an immutable, indestructible, unimpeachable, absolutely scarce perfect money, build an entire new capital market on it, boost my country's GDP 10x. And this will be accretive over time and make 7 million Salvadorans individually sovereign. Let's get it. And massive respect and shout out to the president of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, the one and only. And now let's discuss a big announcement that Coinbase made today, that they're going to halt all BUSD, which is the Binance version stablecoin, BUSD, which is a pretty big deal. I would think many other exchanges are going to follow suit. So let's discuss this, shall we? Check it out. Coinbase will suspend trading for Binance USD, the stablecoin, on March 13th, which means 2 weeks from today. The exchange announced February 27th, which is yesterday, on Twitter. The message mentioned its list standards as being behind the decision. BUSD is the third largest stablecoin by market cap. So this is a pretty big deal. The decision will apply to Coinbase.com, Coinbase Pro, Coinbase Exchange, and Coinbase Prime. According to the Twitter thread, the exchange added, your BUSD funds will remain accessible to you. You will continue to have the ability to withdraw your funds at any time. Quoting a spokesperson from Coinbase, our determination to suspend trading for BUSD is based on our own internal monitoring and review processes. When reviewing BUSD, we determined that it will no longer met our listing standards and it will be suspended. I think the real reason is the SEC is clamping down and putting pressure on them, if you're to ask me. Now, according to the Coinbase website, its digital asset listing group votes on assets to be listed on the exchange, informed by a rigorous vetting and review process that evaluates assets against legal, compliance, and technical security standards. And in addition, there are additional business assessments and ongoing monitoring to ensure an asset continues to meet those standards. Quoting Coinbase Assets, we regulatory monitor the assets on our exchange to ensure they meet our listing standards, and based on our most recent reviews, Coinbase will suspend trading for Binance USD, BUSD, on March 13th on or around 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, the U.S. SEC reportedly issued a Wells notice, a notice of planned enforcement action to blockchain's infrastructure platform Paxos Trust, the issuer BUSD, around February 12th, and the New York State Department of Financial Services ordered Paxos to stop issuing BUSD February 13th, leading to a $2 billion drop in market cap within days, just like that. And Coinbase posted a Twitter thread the following day saying, we don't know what aspects of BUSD might be of interest to the SEC. What we do know, stable coins are not securities. So there you have it. How do you think this is likely to play out? Do you think that this could drastically impact other major stable coins as well as the SEC continues to overreach? And how will this greatly impact the price action of the overall crypto market? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And with that being shared, now let's discuss the latest with the Ethereum Shanghai fork, shall we? Check it out. The Ethereum blockchain's Sepoila testnet has undergone a successful upgrade that simulates the upcoming Shanghai hard fork, expected to take place in the mainnet next month in March. The Capella upgrade, which combines the names of the upcoming Shanghai and Capella hard forks, successfully was implemented on the testnet today, February 28th. That's right. Now, Shanghai is the fork's name on the execution layer client side, and Capella is the upgrade name on the consensus layer, which is the client side. One of the major changes enables validators to withdraw their staked Ether from the beacon chain back to the execution layer. Validators needed to stake 32 Ether to validate on the Ethereum blockchain, they'll now be able to withdraw rewards in excess of 32 ETH and be permitted to keep validating, while those who wish to fully withdraw can take all 32 ETH plus rewards to seize validating. And the next step before the Shanghai fork goes live on the mainnet will be to release the upgrade on the Ethereum Gorelli testnet, which is expected to commence in March. So major announcements and more major tests are occurring as we roll into March, literally tomorrow. So how many of you are currently bullish on Ethereum and hopeful for all these forks taking place this year and upgrades? Let me know in the comments right down below. And with that being shared, now more breaking news. Both Visa and Mastercard have both halted their partnerships with crypto. That's right, according to a Reuters report published today, February 28th, right before I went live. American payment processor Visa and Mastercard delayed the launch of a new partnership with crypto firms due to a series of high-profile bankruptcies in the industry that have led to increased regulatory scrutiny. The move follows a period of warming relations between payment giant and crypto firms as the popularity of cryptos exploded, with Mastercard exploring payments via USD coin and Visa targeting stablecoin settlements mere weeks before today's settlement. It sounds like to me they're backing down due to the SEC. That's just my opinion. What are your thoughts? Both Visa and Mastercard are said to be pushing back the launch of certain products and services related to the crypto until the market conditions and regulatory environment improves. The delays are reportedly not attributable to their core business, which sources say remains strong, sure, but to uncertain regulatory environment for crypto in light of the collapse of the bankruptcies of centralized digital asset custodial firms such as Celsius, FTX, Three Arrows Capital, Voyager Digital, and others within the past year. So there you have it. I mean, that's not good for overall adoption. I was actually pretty stoked when I heard of this major partnership, and it's already being delayed. I wonder if it's due to the SEC and regulators, which are clamping down and once again overreaching, in my personal opinion, in the industry, but it'll still be interesting to see how that plays out. Now I want to share with you our final two stories of the day. One is of a potential crash incoming, according to Chamath P, who is another billionaire and also a very big Bitcoin proponent. And then we'll be discussing the latest interview with Tim Draper, where he literally predicts a $250,000 Bitcoin price to still occur this year. The only caveat is he moved the target from second quarter to before the end of the year, which is ultimately by the fourth quarter of this year. But first, let's dive into this big crash warning from billionaire venture capitalist Chamath P, who's also a venture capitalist similar to Draper in that regard. But here we go. Let's see. Billionaire venture capitalist Chamath P issues a warning to investors that the markets are facing heightened tail risk. In a recent interview, he is the one who called the impending crypto market crash in late 2021. He says now that most investors currently face two headwinds. The first headwind involves the possibility of lower than expected earnings for the S&P 500. Quoting him here, we're dealing with two things. One is just that if you really think about it, if I had said 13 months ago that we would be sitting here today and the Fed would have hiked 500 basis points in 9 months plus or minus, you would have thought it was crazy. So we're sort of coming into this phase of sobriety, trying to figure out how do we do all of our jobs differently, and what does it mean for the investments that we already put in the ground. For me personally, I think the setup is that it amplifies tail risk. So right now, I'm sort of quite cautious because I think there is a left tail risk. The risk is that the S&P 500 earnings are sort of in one handle, 180, 185, and all of a sudden the S&P 500 is 3,200 and 3,300 points. And for 2022, analysts estimate that the S&P 500 to print earnings of 291. I guess they mean for 2023, just FYI, that was predicted. The second risk is the likelihood that the Fed would keep interest rates high, quoting him again here. But then there is the high tail risk, which is the Fed becomes dovish. Everybody capitulates because it looks like things are slowing down. And now all of a sudden, though, you will have to deal with terminal rates that are going to be 4 to 5% on a more consistent basis, because if the Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, lets off the gas right now, then inflation kind of sticks around. Both roads lead to repriced assets, just in a very different path dependency, and those risks to me are just a little heightened. And so I've tried to kind of be quite conservative and just be down the fairway. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Chamath P regarding these potential tailwinds heading in further into this year. And what are your thoughts? And also, if you want to watch this video interview he did entitled The State of Investing with Chamath P, check the show notes below the video in the description. And with that being shared, now let's dive into our final story of the day and the moment you've all been waiting for before we dive into the live Q&A. Here we go. Let's get it. Tim Draper, the billionaire venture capitalist himself. Billionaire investor Tim Draper has earned the title Adventure Capitalist by betting on a series of notable tech successes, including Hotmail, Skype, SpaceX, AngelList, SolarCity, Twitter, DocuSign, Coinbase, Robinhood, and Ancestry.com. How many of you didn't know that? I didn't. Now, Draper was an early supporter of Bitcoin and has made early predictions, which for the past 8 years have turned out to be correct. Back in 2014, Draper predicted Bitcoin would reach $10,000 per coin within 3 years. And by November of 2017, it reached the 10,000 mark. And in 2018, when Bitcoin hung around 8 Gs, Draper predicted it would reach 250,000 per coin by the end of 2022 or early 2023. And amid a distinctly bearish crypto market, the Bitcoin reaching a low of around 17,000, Draper adjusted his prediction only slightly, not in terms of price, but in terms of the time frame. Draper is still expecting a Bitcoin high of $250,000 per coin, but by the end of 2023, rather in the first or second quarter of 2023. Now, Benzinga interviewed Draper regarding his predictions over the past 5 years and got his take on whether the recent spectacular crypto failures like FTX collapse have impacted the resolve. So here's the question to Draper. What's your thinking behind the 250,000 price prediction for Bitcoin by the end of 2023? Draper's response: it is based on technological advancement, the coming halving, the ubiquitous use. Once people can buy their food, clothing, and housing with Bitcoin, there will be no reason to hold fiat. Once the governments realize that they can tax in Bitcoin for walled garden businesses, they will never have another tax sheet. All accounts will be automatic on the blockchain. They'll be able to abandon their failing and political currencies. And when asked, will the growth of Bitcoin be at the expense of other projects, he responded, yes, I don't know why anyone would still hold centralized tokens today. The centralized tokens are auto trust. Very powerful words right here. Now, also asked, how are disasters like FTX going to play into the growth of Bitcoin? Draper responds, FTX helps give people more understanding why we want to operate with a decentralized currency and why centralized systems eventually break down. I think with the FTX fiasco and the whipsaw effects on our economy from governments printing money and then having to raise rates to cover, people are finally realizing that centralized financial systems like FTX and national central banks don't work as well as the centralized systems. And when asked, are there any other crypto projects that you currently feel bullish on? And he responded, any projects that are truly decentralized, Tezos, Oregon, Cardano, ... Also asked, do you have any predictions for the turnaround of the crypto market? And he responded, not soon. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Draper. And to watch this video he did entitled Bitcoin Predictions Revisited, check the show notes below the video in the description. So there you have it. And again, $250,000 Bitcoin price prediction before the end of this year. I don't think anyone's expecting that except a handful of people. I would love to see it personally, so I pray that he is correct and accurate. Would I be surprised? Yes, but I want to be surprised. But at the same time, anything can happen in Bitcoin, especially due to the fact the halving is around the corner next year. There's true scarcity built in. Exchanges have the lowest amount of Bitcoin they've had in like a very long time, as I pointed out here in today's show. So things, to me, seem optimistic. And if I was to guess, the bottom is in. I don't see us revisiting or retesting whatever the current bottom is around 16.5 or 16.6 or 7, wherever we're at. I'm hopeful and optimistic, but most importantly, let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below. And with that being shared, now let's dive into the live Q&A. Welcome everyone for tuning in. Chris Minka, Matthew C. I know I went live an hour early today, so I appreciate y'all for joining me. Always a pleasure. UFO Nut, Bitcoin Maximus, Coin Father, what's good? Dan Drummond, always a pleasure, family. I'm going to scroll to the top. T. Smith, good morning from the west coast of Canada. Good morning, family. Appreciate you tuning in as always. Appreciate all your support. Maximus says smashed. I appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, do what Maximus just did. Make sure you're smash the like so that you get notified, as well as hit that bell icon, turn on all notifications. So when I go live, you get the word. What's shaking, stackers, says the Coin Father. Shanking back is back. Hit the like, gang. We missing a few. Yeah, it's because I'm earlier than usual. Dan Drummond, good morning, Bitcoiners and unregistered security holders. That is a funny one. Got some fresh pow pow for boarding. That's what's up, Chris. Welcome, good morning. Michael, appreciate you tuning in. Volkman, as always. Frankie V in the building. What's poppin', broski? Yeah, Matthew C. Good to see you. SpongeBob, always a pleasure. Yeah, man. Smash the like. It's free and easy to do so. Thanks for the reminder, Matthew. The only ones who can't hit the like is if you're not logged in. And I know some of the viewers, maybe they don't have a YouTube account. Maybe they're on a different device. Or they didn't log in. But you have to log in to actually hit the like. So I encourage people to log in if you're not logged in order to do so. And you can do it after the fact, after the show. Chris says hash rate at all-time high. Price drop from 25,000 hasn't been much. Only a matter of time before 25 resistance is taken out. I agree. And I think once we can clearly break past, like, say, 25.3, we can head on up all the way to 30,000. And you already know, fam, anything can happen at that point. Good morning. Good to see you as well. You got to give me band power, JV. Some people in timeout isn't good enough for... Well, you are a mod. I thought you had full permissions. I have to figure that out. But yeah, we just have to keep putting them in timeout if they're bad boys. I'm good, my brother. And bad boys, just FYI, there's anyone spamming the chat or making fun of other people shouldn't be here. Everything else is all for, like, any opinion people have, I encourage people to express it. I'm all for freedom of speech. But if you're harming other people in your comments, being disrespectful, or if you're spamming, they need to be put on timeout indefinitely. That's how we do it here. You know what I mean? Stacking every chance I get. In this together, fam, says Matthew C. That's what's up. You ain't lying, Sponge. Good morning to you, Ellen. Storm happening. Stay safe out there. I know you're in New York. Dan says, when FASB and GAAP Corp accounting rules catch up with the help of MicroStrategy and regulation comes to the crypto space, once the XRP suit ends, there will be a tidal wave of institutional money. Be ready. Let's go. I am ready. Thanks for the reminder. Stack and stats. Well, the Fed rate hikes was inevitable from the massive printing Fed did in 2020. Facts. And you can't, once the genie is out of the bottle, you can't put it back in. You know what I mean? Bitcoin Cow, welcome. Good morning. I'm done with the winter, ready for spring and summer in Japan. That's what's up, Coin Father. I'm very happy for you. So are you currently living in Japan or just planning on heading to Japan? Let me know. Bitcoin Max's Cow, how are you? Oh, that's what's up. Because my apologies. There was a moderator, I'm not going to mention names, but there was a moderator a month or two back, and he was banning people he shouldn't have been banning, so I took away his permissions to be able to ban, and he doesn't tend to come here any longer, but there are people who are awesome regulars who unfortunately got blocked, and I don't even understand how to unblock somebody because I didn't even do it to begin with. It was done through a moderator, so he had to create an additional account. So my apologies for that. You know what I mean? Chris says, I see Draper's view, just not by the end of 2023. Ellen says, no worries, just as long as you're doing okay. Bitcoin Max, exactly. That's the big picture. Draper speaking the truth about the altcoins. I like how he said that any centralized coin he wouldn't be interested in, but only decentralized coins. I like that. I resonate with that. Yeah, it's me, a.k.a. Bitcoin Cal, Crypto Cal, now Bitcoin Maximus. Well, I like the name Bitcoin Maximus. You know what I mean? Maximus. I had to do the same. Maximus says, JV, absolutely. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for your continued support. Robert says, if Bitcoin was 250, then Ethereum would have been about 17,000. Do we think that is possible? Well, send it. I don't mind. I don't mind a $20,000 Ethereum price. If Bitcoin can hit $250,000, absolutely, Ethereum can do that. Why not? Anything is possible, fam. XRP lawsuit will not lead to a wave of investors. It'll take more time, says Chris Minka. I think we need the ETF, the spot ETF, to be released, the exchange traded fund in the United States. That will be the game changer because it'll allow the institutions which have the trillions in capital on the sidelines to invest. But right now there is regulatory uncertainty, purposely, masterfully crafted by the SEC because they don't want this mass adoption to occur at this time. But eventually, you can only prevent it for so long? You know what I mean? I think that is the bigger picture. Eventually, no one can stop it. Bitcoin is on its own vector and is going to do its own thing. And if you're in the way of the freight train, you get ran over. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? Keeps attacking your character. Yeah, well, if someone is attacking my character, you have my permission to block them as well, because that's disrespectful, and I don't need to be attacked as a host when I'm focused on presenting content and doing everything to host the show, which is overwhelming in of itself. That's why I have moderators, so I appreciate that. Wife is from Japan. We try to go back every few years to visit, says Coinfather. Happy to hear that. How is the sushi in Japan in comparison to the United States? I need to know. Is it a totally different experience? I've been to a few legitimate Japanese restaurants that were in like Thailand or Bali. And I remember like the way you sit down, like no shoes, sit kind of like Indian style, like on a pillow. I dig the vibes. And the thing I missed the most, there was like, it's supposed to be from Japan because I would have it, but I was never in Japan. I was just in Asian countries and they had this. But it's like, I forget what it's called, but it's like the most delicious thing I've ever eaten. It's like a form of ice cream, but it's not exactly ice cream. It's like the best thing to ever exist. I don't even know what it's called, so I may sound like a crazy person right now, but you know what's up if you're from, what's it called? Japan, so let me know. Chris Minko, once they are done fooling with XRP, they're going after their prize, Ethereum. Then the rails will be in for the ETF and institutional. That makes logical sense to me, Dan. Thanks for jumping in there. Stacking sats like Mother Nature stacking now. That's what's up. T. Smith says, agreed. The ETF is going to be used. Ellen says, Gensler is running for Senate. Inquiry? Get out of here. Tom Summers keeps asking Gensler for all SBF's notes, meeting, etc. Shout out to Tom Summers because he's trying to hold Gensler accountable. That's what's up. Think 250 happens by the end of this year. Talk about a failed smelting pump. I think it's not probable, but it can still happen. If I was to guess, I'd give it like a 20% chance. I'd say there's an 80% probability Bitcoin does not reach $250,000 this year. But I'd say there's still 20% hope that it can happen. And I like to remain hopeful, but logic tells me probably not going to happen this year. Can I see that happening by 2025? Abso-freaking-lutely. I think 2025 is going to be the cycle high for the cycle. Obviously, 2024 is the halving. The market always, historically, reaches its height the year following the halving. That's why in the halving of 2016, we hit an all-time high in December of 2017, the year after the halving. And then in, in 2020, the next halving took place. The year after that halving in 2021, we hit an all-time high in November, reaching $69,000. So like clockwork, if history rhymes, I'm anticipating the all-time high for the cycle in 2025. That's when, to me, I feel like with an 80% probability, Bitcoin is likely to do that, and 20% chance that it doesn't. That's just my intuition. I obviously could be wrong, and this is not investment advice. That's just how I feel based on the previous performance of the halving cycles, which occur every 4 years. That's what my logic tells me and my intuition. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Ellen, Bitcoin Cow, that I'm now back. Bitcoin Maximus, what's up? Mochi, that's it. That's it. Mochi is my favorite thing on this planet. When I went to that restaurant and had mochi ice cream, I did not want to stop. My favorite thing. It must be amazing in Japan. Rice cake wrapped around ice cream. That was it. It was so freaking delicious. It was my favorite thing I've ever had as a dessert. No cap. Even though I'm rocking a cap, no cap. This is real. What I meant, BTC Max, Ellen 2024, 2025, 125 to 175,000. I like that prediction, Coinfather. I think anything above 100,000 by 2025 is a win, but I'm also hopeful that we could far surpass that, multiple six figures. So that's why I say $250,000. T. Smith says 80-20. Hell yeah, that's what's up. Appreciate you, Tone. Is this Tommy Smith? Just let me know, or is this a different person? Just curious, as Tommy is a friend growing up. Ellen says, Lusco said to take each cycle high and add a 0 for every cycle. I like that as well. It seems to work that way as well. Just add another 0. And if we do that, well, I guess, do we do that from the bottom or do we do that from the high? From the bottom of this cycle, that would be $160,000. From the high, holy moly, that would be tremendous because the current high is 69,000. So adding a 0 would be 690,000. Now we're talking. I am stacking every week for those seeable futures. That's what's up. T. Smith says, no, I'm indifferent. Okay, all good, all good. Appreciate you here. Who's the scammer? Someone's saying scammer and liar, but I don't see it. Oh, thank you for putting someone on timeout. Dankness, that's what's up. All possibilities and all possibilities, the high. And I also want to remind y'all, if you don't already have your Binance account set up, set that account up, because I actually have a referral partner link. And if I'm able to create any profits, I'm able to scale more content and do more creative things with the show. And I haven't had any sponsorships on the channel for many months. You know what I mean? So I like Binance because it's the top exchange in the world. There's no argument about that. They offer the lowest fees, including zero trading on the top Bitcoin pairs, which to me makes it a no-brainer. And also, I always throw out there, I don't recommend Binance for you to secure your crypto assets on the exchange and keep them there and use that as your cold wallet. No, use it for trading when you must trade, and then exit your crypto from the exchange as soon as possible and put it on your cold wallet device. And then there's really no risk involved. You know what I mean? Or I should say very minimal risk, as everything is risky, including crossing the street. There is a small probability that you get hit by a car, right? So anything can be risky. So I just want to cover my tail. Let me know if that makes sense though, because they do have some incredible incentives. If you create the account and you're a Binance global account and you use that outside the US, you can receive up to $600 in bonuses. And even if you're in the US, just use the US specific link and you can still take advantage of some cool incentives and bonuses. And if anyone has any questions regarding that, just hit me up, let me know. And also, I'm curious, what is your favorite exchange? Mine used to be Coinbase, but no longer, because Binance fees are extremely superior, meaning lower than Coinbase. Coinbase doesn't offer the best fees. It's just convenient. You know what I mean? It's like the mainstream vehicle for the United States. Most people use it. At the end of the day, nothing against them. I think it's a great alternative. But I think the go-to at this point, if I was to make a trade, it would be Binance. I think that's the number one place to go. But I do also recognize I'm not going to use any centralized exchange to hold cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency doesn't belong on the exchanges unless you're actively trading. That's my story. All probabilities and all possibilities. Yes, I use Gemini and Winklevoss. That's what's up. Shout out to Gemini as well. Just be careful. I know there's some major lawsuits occurring right now between the Digital Currency Group, Gemini, and some subsidiaries. Matthew says, Crypto News Alerts fam is great. This is the first person I have ever seen this problem. Yeah, you can't please everybody. Some people will call me a scammer because I promote Bitcoin. Some people are anti-Bitcoin. That's just the way it is. So be it. If being pro-Bitcoin makes you a scammer, so be it. I'm pro-Bitcoin. I represent Bitcoin. You know, I think a lot of the people who have no Bitcoin and have stacked no Bitcoin, they choose to believe that all these other altcoins are superior because they think they missed the boat. It's because they don't understand Bitcoin to begin with. You know what I mean? I like to be bold and unapologetically. Bitcoin is the king. It's the only true decentralized cryptocurrency in the space. If you're not pro-Bitcoin, you don't understand cryptocurrency. You know what I mean? You're just trying to get rich. You think you missed the boat with Bitcoin. You're going to invest in some casino-ish coins and pray to the crypto gods you don't get wrecked. But 99% of the investors with that strategy will absolutely get wrecked. I'm trying to prepare you. Been there, done that. You know, I've been around since 2017 in crypto. Seen it all. You know what I mean? I've been here for an entire cycle. This is my 6th year. Going on 2nd cycle. You know what I mean? I represent Bitcoin. Wear the badge with pride. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes, on Gemini Earn, JB. That is correct. Gemini Earn. That's what the SEC attacked. They went after all the Earn yield products from all the exchanges. Gemini Earn being targeted as one of them. They also went after Kraken. You know what I mean? And in my opinion, Gemini, Kraken, 100% legit exchanges. They've been around. They passed the test of time, unlike SBF and Bankman-Fried. But the SEC is overreaching, slapping them with fines and trying to control the crypto industry. You know what I mean? Unlawfully, in my humble opinion. But that's what's good. I'm going to recap here with the big finish of what I shared with you here in today's show. We discussed the latest technical analysis as Bitcoin exchanges now literally own 16% less Bitcoin than the oldest hodlers. I shared breaking news that yet another Bitcoin hash rate has been recorded, and as we know, the Bitcoin price follows the hash rate. Also shared breaking news of Coinbase announcing a suspension of BUSD trading beginning March 13th, as well as Ethereum testnet successfully forks in the Shanghai upgrade rehearsal. We also discussed breaking news of Visa and Mastercard both collectively halting their new crypto partnerships. I shared the latest insights from their latest report, as well as after accurately predicting the global market meltdown, billionaire Chamath issues a new alert to investors. I shared those two potential headwinds. And we also discussed exclusive Tim Draper interview where he stands by his 250,000 Bitcoin prediction and says, I don't know why anyone would still hold centralized tokens today. And he is still optimistic for the King crypto to hit 250,000 before the end of the year. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments